you might have heard that Kamala Harris straight up told some Christians at her rally that they don't belong there. This is what that sounded like.
And they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Thunderous applause for that. They couldn't get enough of it. If you couldn't hear from the video, by the way, someone says, you can hear someone in the background, it's a little faint, they say, Christ is Lord. And obviously it's scary to see Kamala Harris be so overt with her hate for Christians. Again, usually try to hide something like that. Like you're trying to win an election. There's a lot of Christians in America. Usually Democrats in the past try to hide that, but she's so open about it. And that part's scary, but what's even more scary is seeing the audience also cheer. And it shows that it's not just the Democrat elites that hate Christians, but I think a huge part, not all of them, but a huge part of the Democrat base as well. So J.D. Vance saw this and reacted to it, and it was actually a pretty good moment. Here it is.
And I say this as a Christian, as a person who was baptized for the first time just a few years ago. There is something really bizarre with Kamala Harris's anti-Christian rhetoric and anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that we've, that's right, Jesus is king, and I don't think that we've seen, I don't think that we've seen anything like this in modern American politics.
J.D. Vance is part of that wave that we saw. We've kind of seen it in the last 5 years with obviously your average day people, but we've also seen some really high profile people who have been baptized and become Christians. A lot of people have honestly, kind of like in J.D. Vance's case, have come back to Christianity. It's really awesome. It's great to see. One of the people that comes to my mind is Russell Brand. If you've gone over to his channel, he's had an amazing journey with Christianity recently, but he's not the only one. It's been a huge push recently that you've been seeing in America. However, it's not great for Kamala Harris because this is a prediction that I made. Myself and a lot of other commentators have made this. Christians are going to change the election. And more specifically, men are going to show up in waves for Donald Trump, I personally believe. And part of that prediction that makes me believe that men will show up for Trump in just massive waves is a new stat, which is that for the first time, maybe in world history, more men identify as Christian. I mean, I say as world history, since they've been polled, more men identify as Christian than women. And that's massive because it will only exacerbate that discrepancy between men voting for Donald Trump versus Harris because of her hate for Christianity. If more men are becoming Christian, I mean, there's a lot of reasons as a man to vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. Obviously, her men need to be feminine campaign, it just doesn't jive with men. Men see it. It turns them off big time. Tim Walz, Doug Emhoff, these people don't really, they don't speak to men. But of course, if men are acting more Christian, they're believing more in Christianity, that's only going to make them want to vote for Donald Trump more. And as I've said before in shows, but I have to say this again about the difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. If you're a Christian, and more specifically, if you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which I am, I'm a member of that church, don't vote for someone that hates you. Please, please do not vote for someone who hates you. I said it on previous shows. I have to say this again. There is a fundamental difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris that cannot be overlooked, and it is this. Let me talk about the similarities. Both are sinners. Both make mistakes. Frankly, they're huge mistakes. I'm not saying, like, all of us make mistakes. Not all of us do the things that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have done. They're fornicators. Donald Trump is an adulterer. Probably Kamala Harris is as well. Kamala Harris and her husband have done some really, really corrupt things. They're sinners. However, but that's on both sides. All are sinners. All fall short of the glory of God. That's a fact. However, here's the difference. Harris hates you. She hates you. She hates what you stand for. She hates the doctrine of Christ. Trump, on the other hand, loves Christians, and that's very clear. In fact, that's one of the largest critiques that the left have of Donald Trump is how much he loves Christians. However, it's not just that. It's that his policy platform does not include legislating things that hate the doctrine of Christ. That is a fundamental difference. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, they're both sinners. They both made mistakes. However, Kamala Harris actively wants to legislate things and pass things into law either through the legislative branch, which she'll encourage, or through executive orders that go against central tenets of Christianity. Donald Trump, on the other hand, with all of his mistakes, will legislate things and push things that are pro-Christian. That is the difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. It's really not a moral argument. This is simply a practical argument. And again, this is a huge difference. You're not voting for your savior. We already have a savior. It's Jesus Christ. If you're a Christian, you have already accepted him into your heart. However, you're voting for a president who will enact policies and drive legislation. So don't vote for someone who hates you and your religion. Speaking of the cultish way the left is acting, I actually wrote a book about this. It's up on the bookshelf over there. I'll include the link to it in the description below. It's only $10 on Amazon right now, or if you're subscribed to Kindle, it's actually free for you guys. So go check it out. Right now, I talk about how the left has basically devolved into a cult and how when you abandon religion, a more secular religion, which is progressivism, takes its place. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot through kind of all the studying that I did, all the research I did. I think you'll enjoy it as well. Again, go check it out. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.